Greetings! Welcome back to Beaver Branch Adventures. I'm Brian Morris, PDGA 16791, and a part of Team Trilogy. Today I have a comparison of the Westside Discs Warship. I have the VIP Chameleon Warship from the recent 2021 Trilogy Challenge. And I have an Origio Burst Warship, which is the baseline plastic. So we got the premium plastic versus the baseline plastic. We want to see if there's any difference here. The Warship comes in at a speed 5. Now previously it was a 6, I believe, a few years ago. It is a speed 5, glide 5, turn 0 with a fade of 1. So those numbers are telling me that this is going to be a pretty straight shooter. It is a mid-range. Let's see what happens. Alrighty folks, here we go again. Here we're going to compare the VIP Chameleon Warship from the Trilogy Challenge to the Origio Warship. So the Origio is kind of a baseline plastic, where the VIP is the premium plastic for Westside Discs. And we're going to start off, as always, we're going to throw some hyzers. So just going to get warmed up here, throw a couple nice little hyzers, see how much it straightens. There is a 0 turn on this, and I believe that is accurate. Speed 5 seems about right. I know previously it was a speed 6. Reclassified as a 5. I don't believe they changed the mold. And you can see here that this is just a nice disc, throwing probably around a 250-foot hyzer shot here at this basket. Couple runs with the VIPs. Origios got down to the ground and one faded a little bit more. Probably thrower error. Here we're going to get on it a little bit, maybe straighten it out. The basket that I'm throwing towards against the wood line there is at about 280 feet. So just on the end of my mid-range game, that one I straightened out, but you can see it has a little bit of fade. And the first two that I'm throwing are Origios. And now we're going to go to the VIP. I was expecting VIP to have a little bit more fade than the Origios, which I think is the case. The thing with the Origio plastic is this flight that you see will not last as long depending upon how you or where you're throwing it in the woods and such. And you can see the Origios are parked. The VIPs are just off here to the left a little bit. Now here we're on a hole, it's 256 feet. Just to give you an idea of a hole where I might throw something like a warship. And there was a slight headwind pushing through the tunnel here. So I put a little bit of extra hyzer on it, straightened it out, and just played the natural flight of that disc. The two Origios were parked. A couple people at the Trilogy Challenge thought that the VIP Chameleon warships had a little bit more glide than the Origios, and I will say that on these couple throws, although that one did kind of loft up into that headwind, the VIP warships did go a little bit further, just out there, probably 22 feet past the basket. The Origios were parked. As always, I'm going to try to throw a distance shot with these discs, just to try to get on them, see how far I can throw them, and see what their flight tendencies are. And you can pretty much see the 5501 is pretty much dead on. It's not completely fading back super hard. It's not completely turning over on a pretty hard drive there. I got the Origio out to 327 and the VIP just about the same. Didn't have much difference in the distance department. They flew the exact same line basically, and I tried to throw these about as similar as possible. So VIP was 3 feet shorter. You'll see that here, maybe even 2 feet. And the other two are right next to each other as well. So very consistent in that flight pattern, as are all Trilogy discs, Latitude 64, Westside, and Dynamic discs. Here I'm putting it up on an Anheuser line and sending it over, and you can just see it wants to fight out. Now, it's not a complete Anheuser line, but if I was to throw this same line on, say, a Fuse or a Tursus or a Maverick, it would have gotten over big time. This disc did get pretty far. I did park this hole, which is like a pretty long hole to get a mid-range to. I usually throw a fairway driver on it. This one I didn't quite get the chameleon over, so that was user error, and then I overcompensate for it here. So these discs, I feel like they fall right between, say, a Gatekeeper and a Tursus in the Westside lineup, or probably less stable than an EMAC Truth. Definitely less stable than an EMAC Truth. Here I'm going to throw a couple forehands. I wouldn't recommend forehanding this. The feel for me just is not the feel that I want for a mid-range. I do forehand harps, and I do forehand the EMAC Truth, but the Warship didn't have the same feel that I would like to have for a forehand. Well, there you have it. Origio versus VIP. Very similar in all regards. Origio is going to beat up faster, obviously. The flight numbers are true. It is a nice, stable, and straight disc. That's all we have for this review. We will see you on the next one.